Celebrate successes, duplicate effort, systematize the process, and scale the business. Use those 4 steps on how to coach real estate agents to help more people. Hey guys, it's Brian Icenhower. Welcome to the show today. Excited to have you on for a cool topic, a topic that's near and dear to my heart. Here's the topic. It's how to coach real estate agents in 4 easy steps. Okay, so I'm going to help you on one of the things that my company does, how to coach real estate agents. And boy, is that tricky. But I'm going to break it down in these 4 easy steps for you. As many as you know, I'm CEO and founder of Icenhower Coaching and Consulting. And, we coach many of the highest producing agents, teams, and broker owners in North America. Got tons of coaches and hundreds of clients all over the place. We also build a lot of real estate training systems, online systems for different real estate teams and brokerages all over the place to train and implement their systems. And so coaching and training, that's what we do, So I'll tell you, breaking it down into 4 steps. These are 4 key components of coaching that I think will really help a lot of you that are trying to coach agents. And I'll tell you, even if you're just an agent, yourself, and looking for some help, I really think you could probably turn around and implement these 4 steps on yourself pretty easily too, and just try to remember them, And I think you could even write them down. They're real short, I'll tell you that. You write them down and remember them, in certain situations. And I can even tell you those situations here as well. It's very important that these 4 things become the framework of your real estate coaching. So I'm going to start. Let's get right into it here. I'm going to start with number 1. Okay. Number 1 is I want you to celebrate successes. Celebrate successes. Okay. That's number 1, because when we celebrate successes, that means we're going to do something that worked. So the first thing we got to do is we got to identify what worked. If something works, right? We take a listing, we write a contract, we get someone to refer us a client, things like that. All of those different things, we want to first say, great, let's celebrate that. What worked? What did we do that made that work? So we're going to celebrate it in a way where we're inquisitive, right? So we're going to celebrate that success and figure out what worked. What did we do that generated that outcome or that result? That's the first thing we're going to do. Okay. Was it that we sent out a bunch of flyers? Did we, have we been building a relationship with that person on social media? Was it that we met them at a party, or we were, what did we say at that party? How did we engage? All of those things. I want to know, what is it? What type of activity? What type of lead generation method? What type of activity-based indicator did we do that initially generated the result? Okay, so where did it come? Where did the business come from? What step did I take that I can control generated that successful outcome? And that's how we celebrate the success, is we identify the source of the business. We identify the source of the business, right? So that's number 1, is we celebrate the success by identifying the source, the very key source, okay? And you really want to spend some time on that, because you'll hear it all the time, man. I mean, I can't tell you how many people say, I'm going to start playing more golf because I need to meet more people. Well, that's great, but that could just be an excuse to play more golf. I need to build more relationships, so I'm going to play more golf. I've been hearing that one for decades. And then, boy, does that more often than not work. I'm going to go to more parties so I can meet more people. Same deal. Well, oftentimes we're just there to have a few drinks or have some fun or whatever. And the last thing we do is purposely engage with people and ensure that they know that we're in real estate. Now that's productive. Now we can build relationships in a productive way. So, what are we saying in those conversations? How are we engaging in those relationships? We're really getting to the core of the source. We're not just saying, I'm going to go to more parties, or I'm going to play more golf, or I'm going to join that golf club, or I'm going to join the gym. That's great. All those things are great. I'm not knocking them. But the point of the matter is, when we celebrate that success, I want to get to the core. I really want to find out what is it that we're doing that's purposeful about that. Stop tricking your mind into thinking all these fun activities are it, for example. So I really want to get to the core. What is it we're doing, that worked? Same with if you're doing some sort of marketing material or marketing impact out there. I really want to know, was it the neighborhood we sent it to? Was it the actual marketing material? Oftentimes it's the fact we're just doing something, right? But I really want to know, what was it? I want to start identifying those sources. Be very careful to celebrate the wrong success, okay? Because what we're going to do next actually really starts to maximize it. So number one, we celebrate successes. We do that by identifying the source, okay? Number two, after we celebrate our success, we duplicate the effort. We duplicate the effort. So we basically do it again. Figure out what worked, and we do it again. Okay? Because I want to do more of it. Just quit because it didn't work. I want to duplicate it. Okay? So I want to do it again. Why? It further helps me diagnose and identify, is that thing working? Okay. Now, the neat thing about it, just because it doesn't work the second time doesn't mean it doesn't work either, right? The fact that we got a success is huge in real estate. Duplication of it may not work right away. We are in a low success rate business in real estate. Okay. Like most businesses, most sales have a low success rate. So it's important we remember that. Okay. That's why so often we quit. We try different things and quit. You know what I mean? We try an open house, but they just don't ever get anybody. So they don't work and we just quit. Well, that's not true. Open houses work very well, or there wouldn't be people doing them for decades. Trust me. There are many things. Almost every lead generation method you've heard of works, but they're all low success rates. I can't tell you people who buy leads of some sort and say they're terrible, they don't work. Well, it's not true. Most top teams, agents, they all do it to some degree, right? They do work, but they're a very low conversion rate. If you just get a normal forced registration lead, you'd be lucky if you can convert that at 3%, which means you get 100 leads, only 3 of them will even convert, which means 97 of them don't work. So yeah, 97% of the time they're awful. You're right, but 3% do work. So, that's just one example, right? That's just one example. So it's very important, whatever you're doing, most people will quit before they get to that one time it works. So they'll keep trying new things and quitting too early. So when we're coaching real estate agents, you really need to make them aware of that. It's a very important part to mindset coaching in real estate, or any sales really, is that most of us quit before we succeed. Geographic farming, everybody would love to be the agent of choice in this nice high-priced neighborhood, for example. But so oftentimes that your efforts when you farm just don't work, but you just got to stay there. And most people quit farming long before they get success. And it costs money, it costs effort, they just quit, right? So they don't. I keep going with every lead generation method. I can just keep going. They don't work their sphere of influence for the same reason. All low conversion rates, every single one of them. They quit too early. So we as coaches have to make them keep duplicating. And the thing is, the reason we do it after we celebrate success is because they actually got a success. It's so much easier to get them to duplicate it because they've actually gotten one result. Much harder to get them to duplicate something that's never worked. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of the reason we really, anytime we get a success and we're coaching someone, we start duplicating that because it will work. Every lead generation method works so long as you do it in a way that works. I'll tell you that right now. And at ICC, we coach every type of lead generation. That's one thing that's kind of unique about us, I think, out there. Most of the different coaches out there, they coach their one system. And those systems are great. In most cases, I agree with almost all of them. I just don't think it's a one-size-fits-all deal. I think there's lots of systems that work, and there's different people and different circumstances and different strokes for different folks and all that kind of stuff. So, we do believe in a little bit more customized fit in our coaching, training. And so they'll almost all work out there. The key when you're coaching is to celebrate that success and duplicate it, and don't let people quit before they get the success or another success in this case. Very, very important. Okay. So we celebrate the success and we duplicate the effort. Okay. We duplicate the effort. Now, on to step number 3 of 4. Step number 3 is we systematize the process. Okay. Once we get another success, maybe success number 2, 3, depending on, what activities or lead generation method we're coaching on, we start to systematize it. We start to make it more efficient. We start to kind of accept the fact this is going to be a part of our regular marketing department activities. This is what we're going to do over and over again. Because the more you systematize it, the more we can ensure we'll keep our marketing department open and continuously trying to get new business. And that's the hardest thing in real estate for agents to do, is typically they have no business. So they do a lot of effort, put forth a bunch of effort, work like crazy to get new business. Then they get some business, and then they totally shut their marketing department down, and they just handle and service the business they already have until it closes and they get some money. Then they realize they have no business again. Then they work like crazy until they have it. They shut their marketing department and on and on and on and on. And they ride this real estate roller coaster up and down, up and down, up and down. And it wears them out, and they ultimately quit real estate. That's what they do, or they'll leave and change to a different brokerage or team or something, because they just can't handle all of that stress. A good leader, a good coach, a good mentor will ensure that they keep their marketing department open. And the way we do that is we systematize it. We make it a part of their calendar. We systematize what they do every single day. We break it down to how many contacts or how many events they're attending or hosting, or, how many mailers are sending out, or, how many social media posts they're doing, or how many times they engage with different types of people on social media. All those different types of things. We start to we start to put numbers behind things. We start to hold people accountable. We hold themselves accountable. We put systems in place. All of those different times we systematize their process that worked. Okay. So that's crucial as a coach, is to put a system behind it. It's another thing I really pride us at ICC in doing, is we are all about systems. Otherwise, though, they'll have something that worked. I mean, I know if you've been in real estate for a while, you've had this, right? You did something, it's worked. You were all fired up about it. I just don't do it anymore. And maybe it's something that you've written off, or maybe you just tell yourself, I really should, but I just don't. Well, that's because we never put a system behind it. We celebrated it. Maybe we duplicated it, but we didn't put a system behind it, right? Put a system behind it. That marketing department stays open. All of a sudden you start to grow. You know what I mean? And your business and your income becomes more steady. You can weather different markets. You can weather seasonality in real estate, the hot season, the cold season, all those different things. You can weather rising interest rates. You can weather lack of inventory, because you have a marketing department that's always working. You have a gas pedal you can step on to go faster. But if you don't, man, you're just at the whim of what happens. You just, whatever happens, it happens to you, and you don't have control over your business, your income, nothing. Trust me, your family will thank you. Is get consistent. So you have consistent income in real estate. The idea that real estate income is unpredictable, that's, if you say so, I don't agree with that. I think you have total control. But you got to do this stuff, right? So as a coach, we got to make sure they know that. That's what they need us for, right? I mean, I know you wish they hear this. I wish they'd all hear this. I wish they'd hear what this guy's saying. Well, that's your job. You're a leader, you're coaching, you're mentoring. I'm just telling you how to do it, right? That's what they need you for. Thank goodness they do, or we wouldn't have any job security, right? We wouldn't have a reason to be a broker, or to be a leader, or to be a coach, or whatnot. Okay. So we celebrate the successes, we duplicate the effort, we make sure they systematize the process. And then on finally to step 4, we're going to help them scale it. They will burn out if you don't help them scale it. Okay. So maybe we outsource things. That's where people get transaction coordinators, marketing companies. Maybe they hire someone. Maybe they bring on an assistant. Maybe it's a showing assistant. Maybe it's an inside sales agent, mentor, mentee. Whatever that is, we help them scale through personnel, through other companies, through virtual assistants. That way it compacts it down. It doesn't take as much of their time, and then they can add other lead generation methods. They can focus on other ways to grow. maybe even focus on, other different, pillars of growth, other different, avenues. Things could be like, okay, I've got my SOI up and running, got to systematize that. I'm going to scale it a bit, and then I'm going to move in and start farming different neighborhoods. Maybe I'm going to start getting into new construction and working with builders and developers to have agents sit at those different new construction projects. Maybe I'm going to open a mortgage company, a property management company, an insurance company, a title company. Who knows? All those different things. That's what the big boys do, man. They start scaling, and all of a sudden, less of their daily effort is focused on generating income. That's how you get the passive income everybody wants, where they own businesses that bring them income. And I'll tell you, working this hard, you better show that light at the end of the tunnel to the people you're coaching. They better see what the finish line looks like. They better see that there is a path out of this, or they will get burnt out, especially in the busy times of the year or the real slow times of the year. Busy times, they don't want to work that hard. Slow times, they really need consistent income. And they'll quit and leave the business, or leave you, or leave your company, or what have you, because they've lost sight of the light at the end of the tunnel, that ultimately, once they get all these systems set up, that they can scale. And there's lots of ways to scale. And especially if you're making a ton of money, you may not feel like you can use personnel right now, but once you get enough income, you can play on the house's money, and it's very easy to devote a chunk of all that income to scaling. And so it's very important when we coach, we consistently remind people that's the finish line. That's what it looks like. And that's the way out. Okay, because that is, and we got to provide that for them. If you're just coaching on how to get more income, well, they'll get more income. Pretty soon they'll want more time. Okay, that's what successful people want. So they don't just want money; they want time too. Almost everybody wants those two things at the same time, right? And quite frankly, if they don't want those two things, they got a bad business model. They're going to burn out. They're going to want them sooner or later. So we always got to put that on the end, right? So here are the 4 steps again. Celebrate successes, duplicate effort, systematize the process, and scale the business. That's it. Hope it helps. Very important. Get out there, save some lives, save some careers. Use those 4 steps on how to coach real estate agents to help more people. Thanks again, guys, for being on the show today. Can't wait to see you next time.